So I saw this video online saying DMX had deep ties with the Kings, especially King Kato. So did you know about that?
That was his dog. That was his dog. Him and DMX was mad tight. Every time that X would go to Chicago, Kato go over there with like 6, 7 Suburbans for the Kings to hold him down.
Wow.
Yeah. And then when he moved to Arizona, Kato was over there, and there was a bunch of bros from Chicago that moved to Arizona and was running around with X over there, that later on some of them became Rough Riders or whatever, but they were bros at the time. It was bugged out. I think it was De Niro Records, something like that. I think that was his label, De Niro Records, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I know that like when Kato passed away, X did that song Ayo Kato.
Yeah.
And in the video he had his wife, right? In the video too at the end.
Yeah. But Ayo.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of bros there. It's sad. It was a sad situation the way, he went out, But yeah, he was definitely that guy out there, you know what I mean?
So there's also a rumor that there was a time in Chicago where the Kings wanted to get at Ja Rule, and DMX saved his life during the time that DMX and Ja Rule were beefing. And there's a video of DMX saying, "I saved your fucking life. All I gotta say is Chicago. Remember Chicago."
That's because when the Kings went to pick up DMX at the airport, there was like 8 carloads, like I said, Suburbans full of bros, and them bros out there don't play no games. They on go time. Kato's crew was on go time, and I guess Ja was there, and he was by himself, and that's why X said he saved him, because all X had to do was like, all he had to do was like,
the bro spoke dog too.
All he had to do was all he had to do. And that shit would have went down, bro. That's probably why he was saying that. X had a lot of love for a lot of different people, bro. Like, I'm gonna keep it real, bro. It's bugged out because I met X before he was X when I lived in Yonkers High. And he was always beatboxing. I just remember him beatboxing all that shit when, bro, this is fucking like 85, 84.
Wow.
Yeah, because he was like 1 year ahead of me in Yonkers High. And then next year they closed down Yonkers High. And they sent us all to, some of us went to Lincoln, some of us went to Roosevelt, and it was all over the place. And I never saw him after that till he blew up. And that's when one of my peoples that used to live in Slowbomb told me, like, I was talking to him. He was like, "Yo, you seen this guy?" I was like, "Who's that?" He was like, "Yo, that's Earl." I was like, "Earl?" Ooh. She's like, "DMX." I was like, "Get the fuck out of here." And then when I started, I was like, "Oh shit." So it was bugged out. It was bugged out that I went to high school with him.
Wow. That's crazy. So like, you heard the actual stories about the situation with Ja Rule?
No, I heard about that shit through fucking other people. I didn't hear about it like from Axe or from fucking Kato. I heard about that through other brothers.
Right. That's what I mean. Like other like reputable people confirmed
that was a story that was floating around through the circles. If you was somebody, you knew about it.
So do you know if like they remember like Ja Rule's reaction or anything to that situation?
Nah, I don't remember that. All I know is that I know the bros was there and they was waiting for X to give the word. That's all I.
Damn, that's crazy.
No, but yeah, I don't know how his reaction. I mean, you see a bunch of Spanish dudes pull up, you know what I mean? And they got all these fucking dudes pulling up, and it's like 8 Suburbans, and them dudes run around with the Suburbans out there. They call them crashers or whatever, because that's how they, in case they get blocked in those blocks, they be running around with them big ass Suburbans jacked up, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So imagine pulling up at an airport and you got beef with this other rapper, and he's got all these money, got you outnumbered there. Shit. I'm surprised he ain't turn around and go back in the airport.
Yeah, I don't care how tough you is, man.
Yeah,
you see that pull
bro.
up, you're not beating those odds, bro.
Nah, come on, bro. I don't give a fuck if you Superman.
Right.
Fuck out of here, bro. But yeah, I heard about that story. I heard that story several times from several different people.
Wow.
Yeah, that shit was telling you they loved X. X had a lot of love, bro. X had a lot of love. He even did a song with some bros from Yonkers a few years before he passed away, with FaZe, and there was I forgot the other brother's name, but they had did a song with X had did a song with them and everything. X always showed love, bro. I'm gonna keep it real. X always showed love.
Did you ever talk to Kato about DMX?
No.
No, okay. But did you meet DMX again later on in life?
I never got to kick it with him and laugh about that situation.
Uh-huh.
I think one time we had went to a I forgot what studio we went to. I don't remember if it was in New Rochelle, and he was there recording. Because one of my peoples was messing with all the Rough Riders out there from Long Island, and I went out there to see him for some bud and shit. And he was there and just said what's up, whatever. But we never kicked it. Like, yo, I used to go to high school with you. I mean, I didn't want to sound like the guy, hey, remember me?
Right,
we used to go to high school back in fuck out of here. We ain't never had the opportunity to. It would have been a funny story, but he might have turned around and be like, yo, what the fuck is this?
Yo, man, I didn't know you could do voices like that. You could be a voice actor, bro.
Yeah, bro, that shit was it. Bro, it's just like, he's just such a fucking, like, this shit was excellent. Yeah, bro, excellent. He was actually one of my favorite rappers, bro, at one point. Like, yo, he definitely brought that energy to the game and changed the game up at a point that the game needed it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I know people criticize his later work and stuff, but the first 3 albums is like untouchable, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like he came with that shit. It was crazy.
X had a lot of demons, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to look at, like, he had that hunger. Who else dropped 2 albums in 1 year? Both of them went platinum. Like, you know what I'm saying? So he broke a lot of records. And remember, he brought that energy back to New York. Because at the time, it was the West Coast that had, you know what I'm saying? He brought the torch back to New York with that energy. Before 50, he was the one that had light that shit up. Man. You know what I'm saying? And then G Unit came after that. But X definitely was one of the ones that really brought that energy. He had that energy like back in the days. Onyx had that energy because Onyx was like one of the first ones to bring that.
That kind of yelling and stuff like that style.
Shatterhead, all that crazy shit. So Onyx had that crazy energy when they first came out and brought that wild energy. And then X, it looked like he just took like part of their formula and just fucking ran with that shit. And it was just like, bro, that energy was just crazy. You remember, bro, they used to put his songs on in the club. The whole club used to be shaking, bro. You felt like the walls was going to come down the way the energy was in there, bro. It was definitely, it was a sad day when he passed away. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.